Hey everyone, it's Jason, and this is your weekend cruise news update. And the Bahamas issues a threat to a cruise line over what they're saying to their passengers. And have you ever felt cruised out? So cruise story number one, and I think this one's interesting because for the second year in a row, Carnival Cruise Lines has reached out to their guests that are sailing during March and April for spring break. And they gave them a warning, or maybe a gentle reminder is a better way of saying it, that there's certain regulations that they're going to need to adhere to on their cruise ships. And they started out with keeping your kids supervised, keeping the noise level low in the hallways. And I think those are two of people's biggest complaints on cruise ships. And the third thing, talked about chair hogs. We talked about that a few weeks ago, how Carnival was really trying to ramp up their chair hog policy, and they went over it again. If you're not going to be using those chairs, their staff would be pulling your items off of it and allowing other people to use them. What do you think? Do you think Carnival will be able to implement these changes during spring break, hold people's feet to the fire? Will they do it? I hope they do. Because I think it's better for the industry when Carnival Cruise Line, they're so big. There's so many people that I hear they went on their first cruise on Carnival many, many years ago, and it really started their love for cruising. Was that you? It wasn't me. We went on Princess, but there's a lot of people I've talked to that have done that. I hope they can do this. I hope they can continue to evolve away from kind of that basically thought that they were the anything goes cruise line to, hey, we're a fun cruise line within reason. We're family oriented, and that's the way we're going to be. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments. So cruise story number two, and I'd like your opinion on this one. When you're on your cruise, do you want the cruise line to warn you of any potential dangers of going ashore? And I say, of course you do. I want it, you want it, we want to know this information. Well, it would seem Bahamian officials are upset at Carnival Corporation for providing this information to passengers. So a video surfaced in the last week and it went viral. And it was some cruise ship passengers that were getting off in Freeport, Bahama, that said that Carnival warned them about going ashore and certain dangers. Here's the video.
Tourists are scared.
Yeah, that's why nobody come off the ship.
That's exactly what they're saying.
That's what they said to you.
Yeah. Didn't we all say hear all that?
Oh yeah, they all got my paper.
Yeah.
So
It's even on our paper. Everybody.
So Vaughn Miller, the Environment and Natural Resource Minister in the Bahamas, was not happy about these comments, so much so that he put a warning out to the cruise lines, obviously mostly towards Carnival, stating that any cruise line that issued these warnings or told their passengers of these dangers would not be welcomed in the Bahamas and would be forced to seek other ports of call. It's a heck of a warning. And I find this interesting because they had a similar reaction when the United States issued their level 2 travel warning to the Bahamas. It was all about pointing back at someone else. Instead of looking at themselves and saying, how do we fix this? How do we fix our image? They don't care. They're pointing fingers elsewhere. And that is a very odd kind of stance to take when you have so much at stake from travel. The Bahamas has a ton of cruise travel. A ton of people go to resorts there. And they're pointing the finger elsewhere. I really think the Bahamas needs to look at themselves and say, how do we fix this image that we have? Do you guys go ashore when you're on your cruises in Nassau, in Freeport, or even Bimini? Let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments. So before I get to cruise story number 3, I would ask that you please like this video as it does help the channel grow. Also consider subscribing as we have the goal to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of August before our Alaskan cruise. So if you could help us out with that, I would greatly appreciate it. So cruise story number 3, and has this ever happened to you? So I've been lately seeing a lot of messages on message boards, Reddit, Cruise Critic, and other boards about people saying they're burnout or they're tired of cruising. Now, these are people cruising 3, 4, 5 times a year. And have you ever experienced this? Now, I was worried about this after the pandemic, so we've tried to book, even when we're going to the Caribbean, a different ship, a different brand, different cabins, to try to keep it always fresh. Also, trying different areas, like going to Alaska our first time in August this year. Let me know if you've ever experienced this and how did you get through it. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for the support. And until I talk to you next week, happy cruising.